So I think this is must know. So that way, last week we talked about the Maha Mudra. So that is the view of in our lineage. Our view is a Maha Mudra. So what is the Maha Mudra? You have to know. So that as a Maha Mudra mean the great seals. So seal means there's something that is not going to change. The reason in the Chakra Tantras, the Maha Mudra described as a Chagya Chembo in the Tibetan word, Maha Mudra Chagya, especially Mudra have two words, Chagya. So Cha means the emptiness. Cha ne tongbe rahilas. Kya ne kanto mine baos. So it means that is a non-abiding anywhere. That emptiness is not some kind of extreme, abide, so that way free from the extreme, so that way non-abiding phenomena. And why it's called the great or Chempo is the union. So basically, you can see the name of the Maha Mudra or Dzogchen or other different name. You will see those are those yogi. When they practicing the Pajana Paraminda of the view, what Buddha taught, that practice, they have own experiment. That experiment of this practice is name as a view, that name as a Maha Mudra or Dzogchen. So their own experience way, they created this kind of expression. And so I think this reason, our main path is actually Maha Mudra. So we have to concentrate on that, try to see the true nature of especially absolute reality. So then that practice needs support. It's called the second, it's called the view will be becoming, inseparable with our mind through the meditation. So that meditation is called the sixth yoga of Naropa. So this sixth yoga of Naropa is actually mainly is try to bring to that realization of the Maha Mudra itself. So that reason, I think there's a sixth method. But from this sixth method, 4 are main practice called the Tsawe Cheshi, called the 4 root Dharma. As actually main method are those 4. Maha Mudra practitioner must need Tumu meditation, illusory body meditation, luminosity meditation, and dream yoga meditation. This 4 is called the 4 root Dharma of yoga. So people who are not successful on those 4 practice, then they have to rely on the 2 called the branch practice, which is the and pour. So those 2 are called the branch practice, because of when you are not successfully cannot practice this main practice of the 4 Dharma, then you have to rely on this 2 branch practice to next life will be meet with again with the Dharma. So I think those are that reason there's a 6 different type of yoga. This is originally received from the Tilupa, Naropa received from the Tilupa, but mainly discovered by Naropas, through the also different sadhanas like Hevajra, Chakrasambhavara, and also I think Guya Samaja. From those texts have individually describing on those 6 subjects. So like I think Tumu is mainly taught in the Hevajra, Chakrasambhavaras, and I think Gulu and Milam Bardo, Those are maybe mainly taught in the I think Guya Samaja. So there's like a six dharma about six deity of a Marvas tradition. So I think mainly from those come from those texts, and then Naropa put them as a kind of together. So that reason we call the sixth yoga of Naropa traditions. Otherwise, originally those all teachings come from the Shakyamuni Buddha through the Buddha to continually, and Diluba received from his, there's 4 different human teacher, and also he received directly from the Vajrayogini in the Udiyana. So that reason you can see in the Diluba's lineage. One is called the short lineage, which means that directly from the Vajradhara to he received that way, the Vajradhara Tiluba, and there's no other lineage. But another one is called the long lineage. Then he received from the Matangi, Charyapa, Lawapa, and Makyawa Samo. So from those yogi and yogini, he received the teaching of the 6 yoga of Naropa and Maha Mudra. So that is, he put all together. Tiluba received, and he passed to the Naropa through called the sign empowerment. What is the sign empowerment? As Naropa went with the Tiluba 12 years. And each year, each time, is also there's a 12 different type of hardship went through with the Diluba, which is a Diluba trained him through this kind of hardship. So each hardship is almost cost to Naropa's life. There's every time Diluba make him to do something that is almost kill him. So that kind of 12 times it happened. Then end of the those 12 years hardship, then Diluba said in the desert area, in one desert area, and Diluba said, okay, now you prepare, I will give you teachings. So you clean the place for the teaching, must clean, and prepare the mandala. So Naropa tried to look in the water to clean, but he couldn't find any water around there. So then Diluba say, you are really dry with blood. You have no blood to, to clean this one. So Naropa immediately realized, oh, of course I have a blood. He, without a hesitation, he cut his lamb, and blood bring out to clean the dust of the ground. And at that time, then Diluba pick up his sandal, and I think maybe that's a wooden sandal. I'm not sure. I think because by saying it's by one hitting on the forehead, his sandal, Naropa totally, what call this, completely pass out. So because in India, lots of tradition, old ancient tradition, they like to wearing sandal, wooden sandal, or I think maybe not really leather sandal. I think it will be wooden sandal, because I saw later even the lots of yogi wearing the wooden sandal, that you made by wood. So whatever, it's not rubber. Because you may think, oh, sandal hitting is not that really hard, because it's not that but not going to be passed out. But I think it was maybe leather or maybe wood. So that one hit, that one is called the sign empowerment. When Naropa wake up from that concussion, then he realized everything. Then Diluba himself said, this really tolerating disciple of Naropa, 12 years went under hardship with me. Now everything what I have realization, he received all those. In the future, anyone who want to receive teaching, those teachings with my realization, please go to the Naropa. So that is how Naropa received actually empowerment, not with a fancy way. There's no throne, there's no really expensive bumba or anything, just sandal. So this day there's no master like a Naropa, Tilupa, and no disciple like a Naropa. So I don't think so. It's possible to we can receive that kind of empowerment. But like if come to the teacher like a Tilupa and the student like a Naropa, anything what happened is become a part of the initiation of teaching. So that is what he received. And then after the Naropa, Naropa giving teachings, and in India, especially in the central India, most people think the central India, but some people think that this Naropa's place where he's staying in the later in the monastery is, some people think in the Kashmir, because Bikamalashila, not really sure exactly where it is, but when look the history, Marba, as a Marba's history, Marba said when he was with the Naropa recipe teaching, one kind of like a like a old cloth wearing Pintita constantly often come to receive teaching from the Naropa, and that was Adisha actually. So Adisha live in the Nalanda. So Nalanda to Bikamala Shila, I think like a travel distance. So that way it cannot be Kashmir. I think Bikamala Shila is between the Bodh Gaya to Nalanda. There's one place. Some people think that is the Bikamala Shila. I think maybe that one is. So nowadays the temple is totally destroyed, but I mean not totally, there's still some wall there, but then inside there's a Muslim one military army general died, and his mosque is built there on the temple. So that temple location is now kind of like took over by a Muslim, and that place they say this is the Naroba's Naroba were staying in the Bikamalashila temple. So that is I don't know, but Naroba later stay in the Bikamalashila center, and of course they saying is at that time Naropa was one of the greatest teacher in India. There is no one not have received teaching from the Naropa. So everyone come to receive teaching from the Naropa. So that way there is thousands of disciples in the Naropa, but the Naropa specially give those all teaching to the Marba to make sure in Tibet all the teaching, what called without the mistakenly transport to Tibet through the Marba, because Marba himself was a great translator, great practitioner, great teacher, and even he was that great. It took him 45 years. He studied with the Marba, total 45 years. Mainly with the Naropa, also what called the Mitiba, also then other also master Kukuriba and other masters. I think Peshiwa, Sambo, Kukuriba, all the many great yogi, he received teachings, but mainly Marba's main teacher was Naropa. So then Naropa gave all the teaching and said, now go back to the Tibet to, establishing the Dharma, authentic Dharma. So that is how the six yoga of Naropa come to Tibet. So that reason why it's called the six yoga of Naropa also. So this six yoga of Naropa is basically is a Tumu meditation, one, illusory body, two, Tumu, and dream yoga, three, illuminast, we say, four, and Pardo, 5, and Poa, 6. This subject is called the six yoga of Naropa. But in this text, come after the Tumu, it come the we say luminosity. So we will come. I think this is a Rizichoda's commentary based on the Rizichoda's commentary. Maybe because in the Rizichoda's commentary, he said Tumu as a meditate on the navel chakra, Illuminati meditate on the heart chakra. Tumu Weser. Then what is the next subject? Yeah, and a dream as a meditator on the throat chakra, and illusory body as a meditator on the forehead chakra. Because this illusory body as a nirvana kaya, transform to the, achieve the nirvana kaya, and dream yoga as a sambhoga kaya, and luminosity as a dharma kaya. So that's also related to the three kaya. So I think that reason this order is come, because many other teaching you may see after the tumu illusory body, because the tumu and illusory body are more like a supportive. Sometimes they like a change with a little bit meditate on the tumu, then little bit meditate on the illusory body. Those are kind of like a togetherness. But in this, it's separated that way, I think, because the illusory body as a body and the forehead chakra, and as a dream yoga as at the throat chakra, illuminati meditation as a heart chakra, and tumu as a navel chakra. So I think that reason order is come this way in this text. So that way, first is a here tumu meditation is a said the blaze and a deeping of tumu are like the fire at the end of the kalpa. Through tumo, even this ordinary body can gain the enlightenment in this life. It is a central beam of the path. This is my heart's advice. So first said tumo meditation is a central beam of the path. Mean the like house have a many beams, but the center beam is a hold all the other beams. So shungqi, it means that so there's a central beam put, then all the other wood is a what called laying on that center beam, and that center beam hold actually basically hold roofs. So the Watumu is the main meditation, but first we have to look at the name of the Tumu. This is a tum, Tibetan word tum. Tum means the kind of like a fearsome. So something that is a fearsome. So that way, actually, this meditation sometimes English translate as a the Sanskrit name called the Chandali. That's Chandali as a name translate as a fearsome heat. Because this fearsome, which is a destroying all the defilement or afflicting emotions, and more is a female. Why is it using as a female? Is it because of the union of the bliss and emptiness? Once destroy or purifying all the negative emotion, union of the wisdom and compassion, or the blessings, great blessings and wisdom. That is like a because that is a wisdom, that way more mean the female. So this is actually literally translated tumu word is can be become what called a fierce heat, or I think that is what is so. This have a four characteristic of this tumu have a four characteristics. It's called the blissful entity, one, and a heart in the touch, two, the clear aspect as a three, and nature of a prajnan or nature of the wisdom, four. So these four characteristics with the 4 characteristics that were called the Tumo. So this Tumo, actually, inner meaning of Tumo is a realization of the Panjana Paramenda is called the Tenki Tumo. It means the inner meaning of the Tumo. But then there's called the action Tumo. So this action Tumo is called the bliss and dipping. So this bliss and dipping, first you have to visualize it as it's called the body tumo. It's a channel tumo. Body tumo is you have to visualize it as a 4 chakras. In the I think Rinpoche's tradition, as I said, navel chakra have a 64 branches. So how is the 64 branches? Is a first from the central channel 8 branches. On the 8 branches, each top there's 2 branches. Each channel divided into 2. So that way it's becoming 16. Then those 16, each one have a 2 divided. Then it's becoming 32. And 32 each divided into 2, sorry, then it becomes 64. So that way called the 64, that's navel chakra as a 64 channel, which is I think in the Rinpoche said red in color, and the heart chakra as a 8 channel, and which is the come out of the central channel to 8 branches, which is the white color. At the throat, called the throat chakra, which is the 16 branches. So the 8, from the 8 mainly channel divided into open two, then it's becoming 16. At the then forehead is a 32. It's the same way. So throat as a red again, and forehead as a green chakra is color. This is what Rinpoche said. So we have to follow to the what Rinpoche said. So this reason Rinpoche also mainly say is a tumo as at the navel chakra, luminosity as a heart chakra, and dream as a throat chakra, and illusory body as a forehead chakra or crown chakra. So that reason I think this 4 order is to come here in the text. This text is the reason is that one, but other place order is a little bit different. After the tumo actually come illusory body. Main reasons why after the tumo illusory body is because the illusory body is a part of the tumo meditation to kind of like a support, and also those two are like sometimes you do illusory body, sometimes you do tumo to bring into that inner heat. So now actually this tumo meditation, then once you visualize in the chakra, then you have to visualize a wind. So wind element is a called a kind of like a whole, you have a like a breathing in, holding, breathing out, that kind of exercise. Mainly, especially you try to hold your breathing at the in the belly, in the chakra, what called the this chakra, what navel chakra. So that is holding there. That's pressuring to that wind is a bliss of tumo fire. Also, it helps. So I think this reason you have to train your breathing by try to hold there. So with this, then you have to meditating the inner fire. So when you're meditating in the fire, mainly lots of time it come from the you visualize it as a chakra sambhavara in the deity as a, but also it is too. And many Drupakaji master also said because of the Vajrayogini or Vajravarahi is the called the quick or a path of the blessings. She called the Pama Jinlab Gilamba, path of the blessings. So that way, quick path. So that reason visualize it as a Vajayoginis. And in the Vajrayogini, remember the sadhana said, when you recite in the mantra, navel or secret place, actually some teachings, saying as a visualizing as a tumu meditation on the navel chakra. Some say or visualize it as a sacred chakra. So I think those both ways is the same place. That reason in the our Vajrayogini practice text said meditating on the mandala of the triangle mandala and a mantra of the navel or sacred place. Is a reason is a choose. I think come is because of the related to the tumo. I think for the tumo meditation, you can meditate this is bliss. Here said bliss is fire. You can meditate at the in the navel chakra or sacred chakra. I think either way is not mistaking. Like I heard Tsongkhapa said, meditate with the ashe. Ashe is a kind of stick at the navel chakra or at the sacred chakra through the Tumo meditation. Then you have to train that with the concentrating that the fire inner heat have to be blazing, and so that is how burning all the defilement and obscurations, the inner heat more become stronger, and at the heart chakra and the throat chakra have all the 5 aggregate and the 5 elements, symbol of a mantra. All those have to burn. That is showing us all the defilement of grasping on the aggregate, and all those impure material or impure phenomena are burned by this heat of wisdom. So that reason have to bleed. Why I have to heat? Then once they burn out, then only left is the crown chakra. That's called the white bindu, form of a hung syllable, and that is a melt. When it melt, and all those mantras, 6 syllable, which is a burn from the throat chakra and heart chakra, will restore. Kind of restore, but it's transformed to the wisdom, not the ordinary 5 kaya or 5 elements. It transformed to the wisdom and kaya, 5 kaya. The 5 aggregate transformed to the 5 kaya, and 5 elements transformed to the 5 wisdom. So that is what is mean the tumu is a meaning is a special tum is a kind of like a fearsome. That is what it means, that all the burning out, destroying the all impure emotion material, that is through the heat of fire. Because sometimes people think that tumu is just heat. If tumu exercise is just for the heat, then you don't need to go through too much headache. Move to the Florida, Texas, or or in Asia, there are lots of heat. Hot country that never have a winter. So you don't need to do more meditation, or if you cannot move, just buy the nice heater. So no problem. But that does not really mean the tumu is a heat, heat alone. So it's called so when it melted down, that's dipping of the, and also have a 4 different type of joy. So that joy is called the symbolic wisdom. Through this joy of a feeling, you have a realization of emptiness. Is called the actual wisdom. It's basically it's kind of similar. Like we have a what called the in the Maha Mudra, we have a 4 mindfulness of feeling. Mindfulness of feeling is you have to recognize the feeling itself as a dharmakaya. So this is same as those 4 joy, as realizing as a Maha Mudra. So that reason, tumu is the main path of the practice. So that way it's called the Tumu is the center beam of the path. So this fire is the end of the Kalpas, said. That Tumu meditation fire is like end of the Kalpa. End of the Kalpa fire is so strong, so heat, so high degree that there is nothing, cannot burn by that fire. But our ordinary fire cannot burn lots of materials. No matter how heat make, like you have a fire resistant things that you can put the fire place, but those fire resistant cannot become a fire resistant when end of the Kalpa fire is come. So like that can burn everything. So the moment heat is like so heat that there's nothing of a emotion and negative that cannot burn. So there are nothing that cannot burn by the tumu heat. So that way it's saying end of the Kalpas. Through Tumu, even the ordinary body can gain the enlightenment in this life. So by this Tumu meditation, even our ordinary body, this is ordinary body can transform to the, enlightened within the lifetime, Laga Marba did, Laga Milarava did, and all those great master who came after those, they did that one as a, they achieved the complete enlightenment within this life by this kind of meditation. So that is the center beam of the path. This is my heart's advice. So that is what does the Tumu meditation mean in the I don't know, I can call Kagyu tradition, or there are many people and many practice this, especially because Marba bring to the from to Tibet from the Marba, I mean from the Naroba. So that way, especially in the Kagyu tradition, and this is I think main practice of yes. From this. Okay, then the second one is come as a luminosity, which is dispel the darkness of the ignorance. It's like a brilliant light. It's a dispel the obscuration of afflicted emotion and bringing realization of the freshness of the self-awareness. This is the essence of the path. This is my heart's advice. So now it's a second is a luminosity. This luminosity also kind of mainly as a luminosity is actually Maha Mudra. It's the luminosity of the awareness of the nature of mind. And when you meditate on this, dispel the darkness of ignorance. So the luminosity is the wisdom. So there's wisdom can be, only wisdom can destroy the darkness of ignorance. So this is like a brilliant light. Brilliant light means the lamp. Lamp, when it's a light, can see in the house everything, and the darkness is removed. Similar way, by honesty can be free our mind from the darkness of ignorance. So then dispel the obscuration of the afflicted emotion. So especially ignorant creating the attachment and aversions. More we have a deeper ignorance, and that created stronger afflicted emotion of the attachment and aversions. So that way, how to free them from that, from the root of that emotion as a luminosity meditation on the Maha Mudra. So I think luminosity itself is the same as a Maha Mudra meditation. So that way here use bringing realization of the freshness of the self-awareness. The freshness mean it's a kind of like a naked mind, unfabricated one. That is what freshness means. Like without any kind of a confusion. Their mind is with the kind of like a really true reality. I think something is a really true reality, it always stay fresh. If something is not really reality, it become irrelevant, then it's not become a fresh. So anything is that is any wisdom is really close to the really close to the true reality of the phenomena. And no matter how long have been, they become always stay fresh, like some poem. Some poem are really irrelevant at the moment. Sometimes it sounds okay to listen, beautiful, it can become really popular short time, but then after that is people forget. Why? Because it's a really irrelevant, it's not really what call close to the reality. But some poem, no matter how many years gone, still stay fresh because it's relevant to us every day. So relevant to us. So similarly, something is a really truly, true, without the fabrication, without the confusion, or just see the truth one, it's always a fresh. So that is what the freshness means, the unfabricated one, or free from confusion one. So that is the awareness of a mind, which is the Maha Mudra. So this is the essence of the path. So path's essence is that one. So mainly I have to meditate on the Maha Mudra. That way, essence of the path is the luminosities. Then, of course, how you can meditate, step by step, those are you have to learn from the when actually you going to the retreat, because I don't think so it's healthy to learn from just studying, because I remember one time one person was asking to Chenga Rinpoche teaching on the six yoga of Naropa. So Rinpoche said, first you do all the Ngondro and Guru deity yoga and complete, then I will give you teachings. Otherwise, if we right now give you, it's irrelevant, it's not going to benefit, and nothing meaningful. So that way, and actually instruction of the teaching is when you really want to practice, then you have to receive the step by step. I mean, what I just talked is maybe pitch of the meaning of that practice or that one. So not really, instruction how to practice that one is not there. Maybe this case maybe not relevant to go through those detail about how to go through the practice. But one thing is every single those practice involve all the preliminary practice, like a common preliminary practice, uncommon preliminary practice, also deity yoga, and all those is involved. Those all practices, like we call the Ngondro, deity, and those all is involved. Within that practice, then you should follow this one. So that way, that one. It's called the manifestation as a transform into the dream practice. It's like the seed being trained. Through this one master manifestation and transformation, bleeding of the appearance and day and night is this measure of the path. This is my heart's advice. So now as the third one is a milam in the Tibetan called the manifestation, transformation, the dream yoga practice. Dream yoga practice is I think mostly is if you have to aware of daily life, everything what you're doing is recognizing and with the mindfulness then that is a slowly train, and nighttime you can recognize your dream as a dream. you know. So that is called the master of the manifestation, mean that then you can control your own dream, you know. And right now we cannot control our own dream, because when the dream, one thing is why we cannot control, so we're not recognizing. Why we're not recognizing is because our mind is so distracted. Daytime our mind is really distracted. It's impossible to can recognize in nighttime in the dream as a dream. So that reason we couldn't manifestation or transform that, you know. So if we have this ability, then slowly you can change in your dream what you want, you know. You can change that one, something like that. So that way transformation means that you have ability to change what you want to see, you know, which way you want to see. Bleeding the appearance as a day and night is mean that daytime mindfulness about awareness of what is happening as a see as an illusion or like a dream, you know, inseparable. Then night is also you can see as a kind of can make it more as a realistic, not, you know, or you can see night dream as a recognizing as a dream. So that way, so this is only can recognize a dream as a dream if you see daily appearance of the all phenomena as a like illusion, like a dream. So that is, I think, blending the appearance and day and night mean is how to bleeding, how to become inseparable. Is by seeing daily life as an illusion, then if you see the daily life as an illusion, as a dream, then nighttime, whatever you dreaming, you recognizing that as a dream too. Then you have a power to transform them. So otherwise, we couldn't transform, you know. Even daytime, you look this way. If you see some circumstance, something's pleasant, it makes you so happy. If some circumstances are kind of like a, you know, unpleasant, it makes you really upset. So we have no power of that transforming to the unpleasant situation as a happiness, and as pleasant situation is a situation as a without attachment. We couldn't transform that one. Why? Because we have not capacity to see that as an illusion. But once you can see that as an illusion, then not going to be too emotion from that. You know, unpleasant circumstance not going to make it really sad, and a pleasant circumstance not going to be too much attachment. So I think this one is a dream yoga is have to train from the daytime or whatever appearance as I see as an illusion, like a dream. Then dream will recognize it. Then from there too, you can have a chance to, you know, whatever appearance transform to the illusory body of a, you know, appearance. So that I think that is one. It's a measure of the path. Measure of the path. It means that now is a see is your practice is a how success. This is, I think, similar like we have a refugee prayer, refugee practice. In the refugee practice said, you have to practice the refugee prayer until establishment of the refuge practices come to you. So measurement of the establishment of the refuge practice is in the dream. If you have a nightmare, at the nightmare, if you're taking refuge to the three jewels to protect you from that fears, that is the measure of your practice. So that way, this is in the dream, when you can control your own emotion and your appearance as what you want to see, that is a measurement of your practice of the mind, how you train them, how you make them flexible. So that way, dream yoga is a measurement of your path. That actually path as that means that your practice is succeeding. Your practice is becoming on the right track. That way you have this ability to transformation of the even the dream nightmare as a transform to the positive way. Also, if you see as a really scary one, that transform to the pure land. And I mean, whatever that is a negative is become a positive as a can. That is a measurement of your ability of how it can control your emotion, how it can control your projection of the phenomena. I think that way is called the measurement of the path. So that is a measuring on your path as a ability, capacity of the path. That way, this is my heart advice and then dream yoga. Now, illusory body is like the reflection of the moon in the water. There's an instruction, destroy the attachment on ordinary appearance and the eight worldly concern and self-grasping. It's the foundation of the path. This is my heart's advice. So now, foundation of the path, earlier mentioned. So this is mainly support of the Tomo practice as an illusion body. So that's the illusion body is a reflection of the moon in the water. I mean, when we see the moon in the water, it's a reflection. You see the clearly moon there, but you know it's not real moon. It's just illusion, reflection. So that way, this I think illusion body is you can meditate with the generation stage and the completion stage of the deity. So must see all those appearance as an illusion. I think in the generation stage, normally we use as a characteristic of the deity is called the empty by nature. So that one is a illusion. It's not really a solid, existent material. So that way it's the illusion form, but completely appearance. So we have to see our own body, our own projection, the appearance of the phenomena are like illusion. There's a totally appearance, but not really inherently existence. It's like a moon in the water. You can see moon, complete moon in the water. But physically, moon is not in the water. Just only appearance. So that is called the moon in the water in the reflection. Is like a phenomena or something like that. So what is benefit is this instruction destroy the attachment to ordinary appearance. So same as when we meditated on the deities, we said while we transform our place as a mandala and ourselves as a deity, is it? When we being attached to the ordinary place like our house, our land, our location, our country, and that is how cut the attachment is it transforming everything to the mandala. Then how we cut our attachment, our own body, especially when you're, young and good looking, sometimes, have lots of attachment based on our own appearance. And so that kind of attachment can be caused to reborn in the lower realm if you die with that attachment. So that reason we have to cut attachment. So how to cut attachment is try to transform to our body as a deity. So no longer my body, it's become a deity, So then that is that transformation cut our being grasping or attachment to the ordinary body by transforming. So same way this illusion body, so that way you have to use it as a deity yoga practice. So I think some say you put the mirror on your chest and make the reflection of the deity on your chest, and try to see yourself as a like that, like a reflection, not real one. So I think so that reason there's a way to practice of the illusory body based on the generation stage and the completion stage. So what benefit can get from the, if we destroy or cut the attachment on the ordinary appearance is a aid worldly concern and self-grasping of the uh, destroyed those. So not just only attachment, also we can be free from aid worldly concern. So aid worldly concern means the temporary benefit. We're looking at the short-term benefit. That earlier I said short-term benefit will gain, but it's only short-term. Then when it lose, and more miserable. Like one time I was in India. We went to, I think maybe I went to see a doctor or something. Then I need to go to blood test or something. So, but after the doctor's office, then kind of lunchtime. So I went to the restaurant, and that restaurant had air condition. Normally in India, not that many office and place have air condition, but this restaurant has air condition. So when we get to the in the restaurant, it's really joyful, really pleasant. So we ate the lunch really slowly, not try to take much time, but then have to go out because I need to go to the blood test or something. That is have to go. I mean, also restaurant owner not going to keep us there forever. After the meal is finished, they will kick out. So when we went out, then extremely hot. Why is it so extremely hard? It seems like much harder than before because we enjoy the air condition. So I think so that way temporary pleasure is at that moment pleasure, but it's only temporary. When we're losing that pleasure, then we have a stronger suffering. So that way that's a worldly concern is not good. It's like temporarily when somebody is praise us, we become so happy. Somebody is criticize on us, we become so sad. When somebody give you something, you become happy. When nobody give you anything, you become really sad. That kind of emotion comes. That's called the aid worldly concern. Is a word really mean that the number is not doesn't matter 8. But worldly concern, you have to think about that. Worldly concern means the temporary benefit. So if we're focusing too much on the temporary benefit, we will, lose the chance to achieve the permanent happiness. There are no way you can gain the permanent happiness by focusing on the temporary benefit. So that reason, your main focus is a focus on the permanent benefit, which is the liberation. Then temporary benefit will gain. You will get all that temporary benefit without the pay attention, without the attention, it come. But if you aim only temporary benefit, only you gain is a temporary benefit, worldly concern. Then there are no permanent liberation. So that is different, is it? It's not saying is if you avoiding the worldly concern, you're not going to gain the temporary benefit. You will gain the temporary benefit. If you look the sutra, they always said if you recite this mantra or some prayer, you will become a Buddha or some nirvana. But until you become a Buddha or nirvana, you will be reborn in the king or this higher rebirth, and this and that benefit you will see. As when we intention about our practice is what called with the liberation and the renunciation, and then you will gain the temporary benefit too. It's not saying it's a temporary benefit you will never get, so you will get. But if you are only focusing in the worldly concern or mean the temporary benefit, then you have no chance to gain the permanent happiness. So that is different. So that reason we should be destroy the eight worldly concern and self-grasping. Self-grasping is the root of the samsara. So because of the self-grasping, all the element is stick with us. Okay, so that way we have this all the physical body. Because of this physical body, we have a suffering of the birth, suffering of the aging, suffering of the sick, suffering of the death, and all other suffering is come because of this physical body. If we don't have this physical body, all of those suffering you don't have to experience. Suffering of the heart, suffering of the hungry, suffering of the thirsty, suffering of the not finding what you want, suffering of the not couldn't protecting what you have. Those all is because it's this body. So we have to cut up that grasping of this body, self-grasping. This is the foundation of the path. So that is the foundation of the path. Is a renunciation, you know. So that is how can get is a by illusion. Illusion means the transforming your body as a deity's, illusory body, and your mind as a illusion wisdom mind of the completion stage. So that way, illusory meditation based on the generation state and completion state. There are, I think, many different ways you can meditate, but mainly it's talking about that one. So that way, this is the foundation of the path. So this four is called the four root dharma of from the six yoga. These are the four main practice. So person who are not really good practicing on those four, then you need the branch support, like a Poa or Bardo teachings. If you have this four dharma as a really successfully practiced, then you don't need to do Poa. You don't have to go through the Bardo. When our practice is not really stable with the other Maha Mudra, I can say, if our practice of the Maha Mudra is not really stable, we're not really sure what's going to happen and things like that. And for the safety rebirth of the next life, meeting with the Dharma, then you should learn the Poa, you should learn the Bardo teachings. But if you have a safety, secure practice, confident practice of the Maha Mudra or Tumu or illusory body or those, then you don't need to worry about the Poa or Bardo because you don't need them. That way, these two are called a branch. It means that something is not important as those other four. But if those other four are not really capable to practice, then these two easier actually. These two anyone can do. Poa is one of the easiest practice. And Bardo too, easier way to understand, easier way to practice. That way these two called the branch of the practice of the Dharma. So first is Poa. It's like a great Garuda flying in the sky. In the instant it arrived in the Pure Land, it's a messenger of the path. This is my heart's advice. In this said Punya. Punya means the messenger, but also Punya means the I think sometimes it's called the Poa is a Suma. Suma means the kind of welcomer. Someone say bringing you to. When you go to, you see the development to visit to the other country at the airport. This the what called them. Go to them to the hotel or wherever they goes. So that Poa is similar like that. Receiver to the Pure Land. So great Garuda. So Poa means the translation. I think it's called the translation. So Garuda as some kind of a mythical animal with a wing and also arm. You see that in the monastery, they on the top of the monastery. Sometimes they hold in the the ropes with the arm. Also, they kind of said they eat the Garuda, eat the snake. So there's one bird, a huge one. There's a mythical animal. I don't know whatever call it. I don't think so. It's really can see. So they kind of fly from here to like a Mount Meru, long distance can fly. So similar like a paw is like a Garuda, flying in the sky. So fly in the sky mean the from human realm to can be taken to the reborn in the Pure Land. Instant it arrived in the Pure Land. So in the power, when we successfully practice and our conscious exit from the crown chakra and deserve to the Amitabha's heart to, and we reborn in the Pure Land of Amitabha. Or there's another way to practice power practice based on the generosity, based on the Tara. So there's many Pure Land. You can do many Pure Land, not just only Amitabha, but mostly people doing Amitabha because Amitabha is the one of the easiest to reborn in the Pure Land. Pure Land that is easy to reborn. Even the ordinary people can reborn in that Pure Land. So that way, lots of time you see in the Amitabha poor reborn in the Amitabha Pure Land, but any Pure Land this is okay. So instantly can arrive in the Pure Land, mean the conscious exit from the crown and reborn in the Amitabha is the same time, kind of similar, same time. So that way instantly, you don't have to go to intermediate state, Bardo state. So Paul can help this way. So like this is maybe I'm not sure the Tibetan word here said ponya, but other teacher other said po is like a suma. Suma means the receiver, receiving. So or maybe like someone is taking you to there, So it's not messenger. I think this. First I thought it's a messenger, but it's not a messenger. It's more like a receiving welcomer or something like that. So it's this word need to think about this. Yeah. So Pat, this is my heart's advice. So it means that like when you don't have a a strong practice of a stable practice of the other practice, then like poor like practice really help to reborn in the Pure Land. Reason is why we have to reborn in the Pure Land is when we're reborn in the Pure Land, we are guaranteed to meet with the Dharma. Like Amitabha Pure Land, guaranteed to meet with the Dharma. But if we reborn in the back to the human realm, it's not necessarily we will meet with the Dharma. There are lots of unfavorable condition to not meeting with the Dharma. And sometimes because of our downfall, what we created negative karma or downfall in the past life, so that way this life take long time to meet with the Dharma. Some people meet the Dharma much later in their life. Because I think those are because they did something in the past life that caused them to distance from the Dharma. And sometimes we not meet with the Dharma many lifetimes because of our downfall in the past life. So those things can happen in the human realms, but if we reborn in the Pure Land, and those all not going to happen. As long as you're born there, you will see the Buddha, you will receive the teaching, you have practice, chance to practice without the worrying about the paying bill or finding place or anything, You don't have time. If sometimes you have time, you don't have money. Sometimes you have money and time, you don't have ability to practice or receiving teachings. So there are many obstacles come for our practice. In the Pure Land, it doesn't have to do those things, doesn't have to worry about those. So our more like a easier way to engage in the Dharma. So that reason have to reborn in the Pure Land. I mean, even it's a Pure Land itself is not really free, you have to practice Dharma. So it's because sometimes people think like, oh, once reborn in the Pure Land, then have to do nothing. Oh, then we are free, It's even there have to put practice Dharma. There's no like a, free ride. Right? Yeah. RIDE. Okay. Now, sixth one is called the Bardo. The practice of the Bardo is like the traveling familiar road, free from fear, one recognizing the confusion as one's own projection, as is a reception of the path. So in this, they use as a reception, on the Bardo. But other commentary is a reception as a use as a reception, or receiver as a use as a in the pour. So someone come receive, but in this they use, so that's a little bit different. Maybe same, I don't know, maybe same, but a little bit different, but doesn't matter. So Bardo means the intermediate state. So basically everything is a Bardo, between, always there's some between. Birth to the death is a one between. Dying is a one between to the life and the intermediate states. Intermediate state itself is a one between of the death and the birth. So they always have some kind of like a between. So those is a between is all called the Bardo. So, but this one is a between the death to rebirth. Our conscious have to travel through certain place or certain way. That is called the Bardo. So how can be becoming Bardo like a travel or familiar road? Mean if in this life we practice the Dharma, especially receive the Bardo empowerment, Bardo information, Bardo teachings, and don't forget them after the receiving teachings. Then when you get into the Bardo, you will recognize it immediately. Like when you see the video, first without go to that place, you see the video, you see the photo, and the people describing this is this way. When you get there, you don't need a tourist guide. Immediately when you see the photo, that is this one. You see the the place, you know everything. So similar like that, this life, when you're receiving teaching, when you're practicing, when you're experiencing, those all is like you're watching TV, documentary TV of the place that you want to go. So then you go to actually travel, go there, and going there is dying. Once you're gone, then you reach there. That's called the Bardo. When in the Bardo and you reach there, you will familiar everything because you already saw on the documentary movie. So that is this Bardo is some people think, oh, Bardo is just, you can meditate there. Bardo, whatever you want to be, practice of the Bardo is you have to build now. Now, if your practice is weak, then it's useful for the Bardo. So sometimes people may think, oh, I try to do my best, but nothing helping me, anything from the practice. I think I'm not capable to do. Don't worry about that. Even in this life, you don't have any successful practice. Your practice not become strong. It's okay. In the intermediate state, your practice become much stronger. Because in the Bardo, mind right now, our minds are really weak, but in the Bardo, much sharper. So that way, easier to meditate, easier to concentrate, easier to practice if we train in this life. But if we never train in this life, then Bardo, there's no way anything recognized. So like if you never saw any documentary of that place where you want to go, when you get there, everything's stranger. Then nothing is familiar. Then you have to learn scratch. And there in the Bardo, actually, nobody will have that kind of ability to train, ability to practice. There's no have a helper if you not build that helper from now on. So like if this life, when you meditate on the deity and you rely on the deity, whenever you have a fearsome in the bardo, you immediately think about the deity and deity will protect you. When you do the guru supplication in this life, then whenever you have a, especially when you have a hardship, you guru supplicate to the guru. At the intermediate state in the bardo, when you have a hardship, immediately you will call to your guru. Even your guru himself is gone to the hell, one Buddha and Bodhisattva form of your guru to come to help you. So this is have to build now when we're alive. So that way called the travel familiar road. That make us a familiar. If we're not trained in this life, then it never become a familiar, because it's totally strange, So that way, free from fear. So then, once you recognizing them as an illusion, recognizing them, then it becomes transformed to the deity. All the wrathful, they recognize. Then you're not going to have a fears. Like if you don't know about the Vajrapani, for example, then in the bardo, if you see the Vajrapani with fire, wrathful, scary, then it really make you fearsome. It make you really scared. But if you know the Vajrapani, this is just example, then you know the Vajrapani, how wrathful look, but still have compassionate, and this, then no matter how scary look, it's not going to fear you. It only give you joy, happy to see that one, Like if you know someone who have really kind, care heart, no matter how ugly that person is, every time when you see that one, it gives you joy. So similarly, in the bardo, sometimes have fearsome appearance comes. Though they're not going to give you fears. Why? Because you already knew they are not really dangerous. The one recognizing the confusion as a one's own projection. It means that whatever in the bardo appearance is your own projections. When you're not recognizing, they are fearsome. When you recognize them, they are deity in support. So that way is your own projection. It's a reception of the path. This is my heart's advice. So this is called the sixth yoga of Naropa. Now here said, profound path of the sixth yoga of Naropa is like a treasury of the jewel. It's contain all the essential practice of the class of the Tantra. Without the exception, it is the supreme instruction. This is my heart's advice. So this one way, so we can say this is the collection of the completion stage of the all the higher yoga tantric completion stage. It's a collectively six yoga of Naropa. So that way, there's no tantric practice which is not including in this six yoga of Naropa. So when you learn six yoga of Naropa, you learn everything in the Vajrayana practice, in the tantric practice, like a treasure house. Treasure of the jewel house have every kind of a jewel you want, Wow. Something coming. It contains for all the essential practice. So all the essential practice is especially the completion stage. So this is basically all the high yoga tantrics deity's completion stage of the collectively become a 6 yoga of Naropa. So that way it's becoming like treasure jewel. Without exception, mean there's nothing left that is not count in these six instructions. So that way it's a supreme instruction, mean the one of the highest instruction. Okay, so today we stop here, I think, because you should more, also research yourself on this sixth subject. I think this is really important at the practice. And sorry, Miss Ellen, I think you sent me so many messages I didn't see. Then some people said 85, 86, 86. So I think, have we missing few of them? I don't know. I thought, oh, yeah, 86 and 87 missing. Okay, so we have a little bit time. I will talk a little bit on this. Sorry, I think I mistake. But so said, premature benefit of the being is like a guide with no sight. It does not help other and is caused to suffering for oneself. Make effort to loving kindness, aspiration, and dedication. This is my heart's advice. So premature benefit mean that like you perform the benefit sentient beings, like go to the benefit sentient beings, So if you look the history of those gurus, many of those at the earlier age, they hide on the retreat, and they never go to the help or give teachings or anything like a Marba, the Milarepa, Gamboba. They did at the early age, so only in the cave, hiding in the cave, doing retreat. So make sure they become mature enough about the Dharma. Because if we ourselves is not knowledgeable on the Dharma, not understand and not have a realization, then when try to guide someone, it means that you have no idea where you're going, but you're taking someone else. So if you have no sight, you cannot guide anyone. You need a guide. So we are ordinary beings, until we have a really some understand, enough to understand, enough to experience, and enough to, realization shouldn't be guiding. When you guide, even you guiding, just guide what you know. You don't have to become a teacher for the everything. Until you become a Buddha, you don't have to become an omniscience. Because sometimes, especially namely teacher, once you receive some kind of title, then you think you have to teach everything. Because if you not teach everything, then you become qualified to become a teacher. That's it. You are deceiving yourself by that. So just if you know only a little bit, just teach that much. Don't have to worry about. So that way, don't prematurely benefit. It means that don't prematurely try to become a teacher. Okay? Because if you prematurely become a teacher, you cannot help anyone. Because you yourself, you have no idea what you're teaching. Sometimes it really harm. So we have to really careful, because one time, somebody asked me are you happy to see now it's a lots of Dharma is explained everywhere? I said, this is a happy, but also be really kind of like scary, because nowadays become a Dharma teacher, there's no rule and regulations. Long as someone follow you, you can become a Dharma teacher. You don't need a certificate. You don't need permission to guru anything. So long as you so, and then it's really, really dangerous for the Dharma, because of Buddhism, Buddha's wisdom is only can destroy by someone like him. It means that someone being teacher. So that way, it's a really, really danger for the lineage, danger for the sentient beings, and danger for the self. So that's not the call to. So then we're miserable. Oh, what should I do? What I do? When I try to do those puja, I'm really miserable. Why? Because I don't know how to make those dharma really well. And some dharma I really don't know exactly, So yes, it making me miserable. My heart is making dharma, especially with the butter. My hand always melt them. Couldn't, form really well. So that way, when I try to do, I'm okay with the teaching, I think. I can say that. But when I try to do those rituals, my biggest problem is a dharma. So it making me really miserable. Every time when I make it dharma, I have to make dharma. So that is it. When we're not ready, try to become something, and it's make ourselves really miserable. So make effort in the loving kindness, aspiration, and dedication. It means you don't have to go to direct to the help until you become capable, until you become mature. What you can do is that you can have a meditate on the loving kindness and a compassion toward to the sentient beings. And you have a strong aspirations of you want to help them. And a prayer every day, I become one day helpful for the every sentient beings. Then whatever you do, action or practice, dedicated to benefit of sentient beings. So loving kindness, aspiration, and dedication, only that one we can do when we are not capable to help directly. Because helping sentient beings is not easy. Each one wants their own way. When something is make one person happy, but not necessarily everyone will be happy with that. So it's not not easy to become a bodhisattva or benefit other sentient beings. So until we become stable or capable to directly can help other sentient beings, what we can do is have loving kindness, aspiration, prayer, and dedication. And when we do this continually, one day we become capable to help directly sentient beings. So that is his advice. Then second one, this one is 87, so said, untimely sign and mark. This one is a practitioner. Sometimes you get some kind of a sign, some kind of appearance, some kind of message, some kind of things. When things happen, you have to be careful. Every sign, even seeing the deity, hearing some kind of good news or whatever, things, everything, not necessarily good. Sometimes Mara come to disturb you by that way. Like if you look the history of the monk lamas, past masters, when they have a sudden appearing in the dream or hearing things, they not immediately follow with that, because sometimes that kind of follow can cause to damage to their practice. So Mara's obscuration, especially Dharma practitioners, sincerely Dharma practitioners, Mara's obscuration is a calm, nice way, not calm, danger way. When you get sick, it's not Mara's obscuration. Most of the successfully, good way come to Mara's obscurations. And also the whatever, and spirit obscuration is not necessarily always a come bad way. And there's one story in the Samye monastery. Samye have two main Dharma protectors. Both are worldly beings actually, but monastery need those two protectors. One is called the Pehar, one is called the Chogyong. So they talk one day, said, today we'd destroy, each one destroy the one monk. Then Chogyong is wrathful, really wrathful, and he went kill the monk. Then Pehar said to Chogyong, that is not the destroy the monk. You didn't destroy him. You just kill him, because if even you kill him, he will reborn again. So you didn't destroy it. You watch how destroyed. So the Torma offering. In the Torma offering, put the grain like a barley and throw out. When he throw out front of his retreat place, those barley what throw up is a grow and a big head. Then he thought, oh, this is really big. I should collect. He started collecting them. Then somehow he thought maybe I should plant this one somewhere. So when he planted, it becomes so great growth. And that is so extended. He extended, become more every year. Then some point he become really rich and he have lots of grain. Then he buy the land. When he buy the land, he becomes so rich by so many grain increase. Then he got a bigger land. So when he become really rich, then he fall in love with women. Then he had every year child, raw child, and he increasing his children more, and his farm is doing bad, decreasing. So his income is decreasing, his family is increasing, and end of that he becomes so miserable. No money, no food, so many kids to provide food, become so miserable and totally destroy his dharma. So then Pehar said, if you want to destroy, you have to destroy this way. So that reason, sometimes dharma obscuration is not come with a negative way, sometimes come positive way. So we have to be careful. So that is what is mean the untimely signs. When a sign from the deity, sign from the practice, you have to be really closely check with your guru, and then if that sign is right or wrong. Then if that's right, then you can have a you can follow with that. If that's wrong, then you shouldn't follow with that. So that is how, like when Milarepa was in the retreat, then the Guinea comes, he said, you have this teaching, but you don't have this teaching, you should ask your guru. So at first he hesitated, he should ask or not. Maybe this is the obscuration. But then later he asked, then Marva said, oh, that's true. I don't have that teaching, but I will find a way. Then Marva went to India again that received that teaching. So it's a truly good message. But sometimes this kind of message can become negative way. So Dharma practitioner, especially seriously practitioner, when you have a sign and the mark mean the basically it's some kind of a significant appearance of the deity or anything, say, or sometimes each practice have some kind of a significant sign of a practice result. So when those come untimely, then you have to be really careful. So why is it said? Because it said result without the cause are deceptive. So you don't have a successful practice without having successful practice. If you have a resolve, that is untimely sign. If your practice is you feel like really successful, you feel like you're confident, then within this confidence of the practice, if you feel you get sign, then maybe that's a timely sign. Then I don't know, but still you should discuss with the guru. Otherwise it can be deceptive. These are the obstacles caused by the maras. So because mara always want to disturb the Dharma practitioner, that is his bigger concern, because he doesn't want to go anyone higher than him. So anyone practicing, especially meditation, Mara really become unhappy because can be reborn to the form realm, formless realm, or nirvana. So that way he put his all effort to disturb those practitioners. So caused by Mara can be having this. This is my heart's advice. Sorry, this two missing earlier. So I don't know how to, you have to do something, put them together. Okay. Chang chu sem jo rinpoche man je ba na ye jo che je ba nyam ba men ba ya Kone kondo pe wo sho tada konde tham je je to sundo sabada ye pe je we zawat tada sinje tanje nyundo lana mamba yanda ba zo be chen jorum bo je to ba jo je shi ja ko se kunjin chu je je ten den la wan ton je kum ba re je be je ten ba se de she do to san gombe zen ju ji